good afternoon. Welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to the second Liverpool Arsenal preview. Firstly, I've got my pod brother back. Big up, Brenny! You're back. We've also got the wonderful G as well.
I know. I'm good. Glad to be back here with the two of y'all, and just enjoying this Good Friday, and hopefully we'll enjoy a very good Easter Sunday.
Hopefully. How are you, G?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. It was nice. It was nice going to bed last night, knowing that I didn't have work today. So yeah, got up nice and early, hit the barbers, hit the gym, dinners in process. So yeah, man, feeling good, man. Looking forward to the show.
Are you looking for the weekend though? That's the thing,
bro. I know we're gonna get into it, but let me be real. I started thinking about this game as soon as the final whistle went against Leeds last week.
Yeah.
And I've been somewhat of a roller coaster all week. There've been times when it's not been on my mind at all because obviously, family, work, you're juggling a lot, and then other times it's all I can think about. So I'm a bit of a mixture of excitement, but nerves. I'm a bit all over the place, but we'll see.
Brenny, how are you feeling, mate?
I'm not feeling. You know what? There's no nerves. There's no nerves. There probably will be. There'll be nerves if it's 70 minutes gone and it's 0-0. And you know what I mean. There will be some nerves there because we know, regardless of what happens, we'll be top. But you just want that cushion to be even bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's just. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident.
Yeah.
I am feeling confident.
You know what? It's funny because as much as there is excitement, as much as I've got to be honest. For me, I have been nervous at different points of the week thinking about the game, and a lot of that is to do with obviously our results there. Some of the previous performances, Liverpool's record, regardless of what season they're having, they've still got some really dangerous players. On their day, they can turn up and be very clinical and pump 7 past you. So this is the league. At the same time, it's the most confident I've been ever in recent years going into a game at Anfield. But I'm very much aware that I don't want to be too confident going into the game because when I look at us and I look at them, for me there's no comparison this season. 29 points clear, we've scored more, we've conceded less, we're in the form of our lives, won 7 or 8 Premier League games on the bounce. It points to only one outcome, but that's why I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah. I think I'm the most nervous because obviously I did the watch-alongs and I've got to do the watch-along, and it is raw emotion for me because you're obviously watching your club. And to be honest, I had one Wednesday night, and as you all know, half my family support West Ham, so I've got a big soft spot for West Ham, and to see them get pummeled 5-1 was painful. I was hating it.
It was.
I was thinking at the weekend, if this is Arsenal, I'm going to be crying. I'm going to be literally crying on stream because I just won't be able to cope with it. It's going to be painful. Big up to Gunner King. Hope you're doing well. Big up the Armoury TV family. Thank you very much. Big up all the gunmen and women ready to watch the title number. He's saying this, not me. Just so you know, I'm clearing it up. He's saying this before anyone clips me. Gunner King is saying that. Okay, I'm not. Simple. I'm not getting into it because someone will clip me and say that I said this. Right, here we go. Right, we know what's coming now. Previous fixtures. Right, we've played them 238 times in our whole history, which is crazy when you think about it. Beat them 82 times, drawn 62 times, lost 94 times. Our previous 9 results haven't been great. They've been pretty painful. 4-0, 3-1, 3-1 defeat, 5-1 defeat, 4-0 defeat, 3-1 defeat, 5-1 defeat. 2 draws in there. Still high scoring. Now, obviously, I had Jamie on last night, and he doesn't think that shows any bearing. But I still think it does because it's a fear factor. It can play on your minds. Now, Brenny, we both remember 1989.
Oh yes.
You're a little bit older. But I was 9, so I remember it. I've got all the stuff next to me in bed. That's how important it is. It's next to me in bed, 1989 stuff. Are you feeling the 99 vibe for this game? Because I am a little bit, just a little bit.
I am feeling it. And the reason why I'm feeling it, like it's that 1981 vibe, because I'll tell you, this is his what, third full season? And it's kind of like, well, I know he did it in 86, 89. George Graham, it's kind of almost George Graham-esque. I'm not talking about the players we have, it's just the situation that we're in. I mean, when it's kind of like, I know with Arteta he had 2 8th place finishes and the 5th place finish as well. George Graham is in his first season at Arsenal, he finished 4th. Second season finished 6th, and then in the summer of '88, in pre-season friendlies, we was featured quite a lot over the course of the summer, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, we could challenge Liverpool. We could challenge them. I mean, I actually thought with going into the season at in '89. I remember when it was going into March in '89. I thought we're still top. We can do it. And Liverpool was obviously creeping up. This time around, obviously we got City, but it is that same for me. It's that same kind of buzz because apart from Zinchenko and Jesus, no one else has. I can't recall anyone else winning the Premier League. So, this is it's new territory for over 80% of our squad. I feel that for Sunday's game, you're going to get our experienced heads can carry us through, and they'd be encouraging the younger players who have played at Anfield before, but this is an entirely different situation. So yeah, I am feeling that 89 vibe, but it won't be as spectacular. But I'll tell you what, if we go past that line, wow, I probably won't be on this channel for another 2 months because my voice would probably have returned by then. So you know what I'm saying?
Well, talking about that, me and James we said give it a week and then we'll start doing streams again because we need a good week's break after that.
I'll say a month. I'll say a month.
Yeah. Well, me and James want to do some transfer talk straight a week away and youth academy talk. So we've got loads that we've got planned, but we've said give it a week. Give it a week. Whatever happens, we're giving it a week. G, I don't think you're quite old enough for the 1989, are you, mate?
Nah, not really. I mean,
I
know. Yeah, I know about it, obviously. But for me, I was born in '84. So yeah, I would have been about 5 years old or so. And obviously with my dad not being an Arsenal fan, God bless his soul, a Chelsea fan. So I wasn't massively kind of watching football at that age. But obviously, you know the history, you see it, the video footage and so forth. But I mean, for me, in terms of Anfield, for me, it's just one of those games. It's an opposition. It's a fixture that I just don't look forward to. Let's just look at the last 9 fixtures. It's one of those fixtures that it comes up and you go, oh, it almost became like you look at that fixture and you just think, well, we're not going to get any points there, because we've just been in that position where, we've been somewhat like slapping boys. You know what I mean? We just go there and it's almost like, just please don't make this embarrassing. It's almost like you want to go there and you want to be competitive, like you want to keep the score down. So it is really nice, going to Anfield feeling like we're not going to get hammered, fingers crossed. And we're in a position where, we can hold our own against this Liverpool side. And we are dreaming of a draw, if not, a lot of us are dreaming of actually going there and winning. And I think for me, that just epitomizes just how much progress the club has made on and off the pitch. Because this is not a fixture that I look forward to. And, the writings on the wall, on the screen right there as to why. I mean, several times we've held 3, 4 and 5s and it's not been nice experiences. A few of these games I've switched off, I'll be honest. A few of them, it's got to the point where it's almost like, I know in football there is never a point of no return, but in these fixtures it often felt like that, because it just felt like we just didn't have, we didn't have it in our hearts, and we just didn't have the actual physical performance to match, these Liverpool sides in their backyard. So, yeah, man. But having said that, it's not all doom and gloom. Like I said, we're going there. We're 29 points clear of them. We've scored, I think, 22 more goals than them, conceded 6 less than them. The table doesn't lie over 28, 29 games. We are phenomenally better than Liverpool this season. There's no shadow of a doubt. And I think any rational, logical Liverpool fan will admit that. And any Arsenal fan on the planet, where have you been, will know and see that, that's what the situation is. As well, I mean, this has been a season where we have gone to tough away grounds where we've struggled, where we haven't got results, and we've rewritten scripts. We've gone to the Brighton ground and slapped them. I think it was 4-2. I think we went to Stamford Bridge and probably performed in one of the most convincing 1-0 wins I've ever seen in Premier League history, because it was that convincing, it was that controlled, it was that, just professional. Gone to obviously, those down the road, and gave them a couple of slaps as well. So, we have a very good away record this season, just as we have, equally a good home record. So for me, as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm excited, I'm nervous. At the same time, I am the most confident I've ever been, as I can remember, going to Anfield. So we've got it in our locker to go there and get a result, as far as I'm concerned. We've been doing it all season, as I mentioned. So it's just a case of getting our minds right, which I'm fully confident Mikel Arteta will be working on with them, because he will know fully well what it's like to play at Anfield. He's even had a couple of those whippings. He's been manager when we had a couple of those defeats. So I think we've got to get the minds right. And then once we relax, hopefully that's early on. If we play our football, honestly, there's only one winner. There really is, because we are the superior team right now. It's just a fact. And there's no harm in saying that. But they're going to be pumped up. At the moment, they have nothing to play for. They're not, as far as I'm concerned, they're not going to make the Champions League because they've got zero consistency. So for them, what they can do is they can have a say in where this title goes. And what they're also playing for is pride and for their home fans. And sometimes when you've got a team that has nothing to lose, that makes them very dangerous. So, yeah, man, I've waffled on there, but yeah, it's. I think you can tell that for me, it's huge. This Sunday, it's a huge game in terms of just the result, but what a defeat or what a victory would do. Forget Liverpool, but for us, you kind of feel like every game at the moment is almost like season defining. But like people keep saying, 9 cup finals until we see what our fate is.
Exactly. Let's get into the comments before we go into my 5 to watch, which was actually the hardest one I've ever to do. I'll go into why in a minute. Come on, you Gunners. CC for fam, however you say that second word. Believe and we can achieve. That's what Gunnar King says. I remember watching being brought the VHS tape of our home game at Anfield, not knowing the result. So in a way, I did experience that euphoria, albeit circa 93. Didn't have the internet to find out. Moss is saying that, not me, just so you know. Everton lad and 1 for Arsenal Anfield. He knows what it takes. Maple Canadian syrup on the waffles. No, you did not win the challenge. You chose a certain player that is a straight away lose. So if these two pick him, they've lost. At the moment, because there's a certain player that I do not want either of you picking. And Tony's done this. And to be honest, Tony's team is pretty good. Jamie's was pretty good last night as well. So
I'm trying to think who you dislike then.
Well, well, there's a certain player that but it's really going to confuse you because he's actually my 5 players to watch as well. So it's really going to confuse you.
It's not James Milner then.
Having been thrashed 4-1 by City and Klopp's team selection for their home game, I can only assume or want City to win it. Well, I've seen a lot of City fans saying that they want City to win it, which is strange. But we'll go into my 5 to watch anyway. Let's go through the. Okay, so this is my first player to watch. It's Cody Gakpo. I wish we'd signed him because I actually do rate this kid. I've put left winger, but I honestly don't think he's a left winger. I actually think he's a forward. He's been playing there well so far this season. I think so anyway. 9 appearances, 2 a substitute appearance, 4 goals. His average rating 6.90, but I do think that's a bit harsh on him. He played very well for PSV. So then obviously we have to talk about Mo Salah. It's crazy. He's not had the greatest season, according to a lot of people, what you hear. But then you look at his stats for the season, you go, what? He's played 40, scored 23 goals, 11 assists, average rating of 7.0. But according to most people, he's had a bad season. That's whatever they're talking about. I do not know. Alisson, now I've put him in here because he is so important to, if Liverpool are playing well, he's playing well. Like his speed of pass, his speed of throw puts them on the attack straight away, because that's obviously their biggest threat is their attack. So if Alisson's doing well, then we're going to be in problems. TAA, yes, not having the greatest season, but it's his set pieces, which is the reason I put him in here. They are dangerous. You have to be honest. His passing ability and his set pieces are dangerous. Yeah. We can talk about his defense all you want, but when it comes to actual set pieces, yeah, he's dangerous. And the last one is Andrew Robertson. Again, his assist is crazy. He's got 9 assists for a left back. That is mad. Just this season. And he's also having a bad season, according to what you hear. But honestly, I think the kid's incredible. I've also, I do apologise, because normally I do have this in the slides, but for some reason I've just skipped it out. I don't know why, but I have done it. And big up to Yahir, who's done this. This is expected lineup for Liverpool this weekend, and it's Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Elliott, Fabinho, Henderson, Salah, Gakpo, Nunez. Now, I'm going to start with you, Brenny. What's the biggest threat in that expected lineup from Liverpool this weekend for you?
I would say I'd say Cody Gakpo, and reason being is because I thought he played well against us in the Europa League season, and we just know what we know what he's about. He can score goals. Clearly, he's enjoying the Premier League, but I'm not. I would say Salah, but to be honest with you, I personally don't think he'd be the one to watch out for. We know what he's about, and we can neutralise the threat. I think Cody Gakpo is just something different that he can offer Liverpool. Because I find even with Salah's stats, they've been amazing this season. He can be dealt with, but yeah, I'd say for me, Cody Gakpo would be the one to look out for.
G, what about you?
I think 2 things kind of shout out to me. One is, for me, it's crazy, like you said about Mo Salah. You look at his stats, and it's crazy what, I think 34 goal contributions, 22 goals and 11 assists. That's insane.
It's not bad, is it?
We're raving, no disrespect to our players, but we're raving about Saka and Gabby, and not even those numbers yet. So, but I think that's just a case of Salah has set the bar so high in it. So, anything that is not 40 odd goals is going to be considered a poor season. But I think Mo Salah is a huge game player, and he tends to have a say in the big games. If you look at Liverpool's success, over the years, and even recently, even when they got slapped by City, he was on the score sheet. Everything, when things are going well for Liverpool, he's in and around it, with either an assist or a couple of goals. So he's always going to be a threat. He's such a clever player. He doesn't really have when I look at him, nothing really kind of shouts out to me in terms of just an athlete, in terms of being really strong or having explosive pace. But he's just so clever and he's so tricky to play against. So we've got to be very mindful of him. For me, he remains the most dangerous player for me in that Liverpool side. And the other that might or could potentially cause a problem, definitely seasons long ago, is the height of Cody Gakpo and Nunes. When you combine that with the delivery of Trent, that could be an issue. I mean, we've got Gabriel, who's brilliant in the air. Saliba not so good. Holding is pretty decent in the air. So we have, and obviously Ben White as a central defender playing right back, we've got his height as well. So I don't think we're susceptible to conceding set pieces, but I think that is an avenue that they will definitely try to hurt us, because we've seen we are conceding a number of goals via set pieces or corners, etc., etc. So yeah, I would say Mo Salah and the deliveries of Trent with the height of Gakpo and Nunes might cause us some issues.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, that's their expected lineup. It's someone I spoke to about them, and that's who he thinks will go. Harvey Elliott, I'm not sure, but it's their midfield. I just think it's so weak. And I spoke to Jamie about it last night, and that's his biggest problem is the midfield. It's so weak. Before we get into the teams that I asked everyone to do, and there are some strange ones in there, to be honest. There are some formation changes. Yes, people have gone for formation changes this weekend, which has made my life a little bit harder, I have to be honest, because I set them up as a 4-3-3. But everyone's gone for different things. So, brilliant. What a championship match. Moss is watching some championship games. Gakpo said it, called it before, during, but superstar. Right, okay. Big up to King. Hope you're doing well. That's why Moss... No, definitely not. Let's try it and go through some comments here. Go to Gakpo, just another... Oh. Okay, Tony might be trying to wind up Moss here. Gakpo is a clinical. He is. That is one thing I definitely agree with. Gakpo is a clinical. That's why I think that I see a little bit of Armoury in him, because I obviously I had the privilege of seeing Armoury as a winger, because I'm a Monaco fan, so I managed to see him as a winger. And I just thought, that guy's going to be a striker one day, because he just had oozed that striker appeal. And Gakpo's done the same for me. He doesn't appeal to me as a winger. I just don't think he's got that amount of flair and a little bit of. You need a little bit of oomph, don't you? And I don't think he's got that. I think he's got the ability to be a striker, because you don't need that bit of oomph like Martinelli does. But yeah, so we're going to go into the teams now. The first lineup is here. This was chosen by Josh, Tony, and King. They've gone for Ramsdale, White, Holding, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Trossard. Brenny, what do you think of the lineup?
Very strong. Very strong. Can get a result at the weekend. And see, for me, if Mikel Arteta was going to go with that lineup, I think that it's just the battles, really. It'd be Martinelli versus Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he's coming back. I know he didn't play against Chelsea, but he's coming back. I think he can get the better of Alexander-Arnold. He has before, and I think he will again. Saka White partnership on that right hand side, I'm just loving it this season. It's been a joy to watch. That is key as well. That'll be key to us getting a result. I think that the two of them will work well together, that they always do. It's like there's this telepathy between the two. So yeah, White Saka does work. I mean, I know White was. I know he had Trossard in front of him, and I never saw the game, but I saw the highlights, and I thought, it's not White Saka. And obviously that and the midfield, that midfield three is stronger than Liverpool's midfield, and we dominate the midfield. I think the game can be won there as well. So it's a strong lineup, but for me, I'd have Jesus in ahead of Trossard, because Trossard we know he scored a hat trick there early in the season.
Yeah.
But you know, he can still come off the bench, and he can still do things. So, you know, I just find that Jesus now, that performance last week against Leeds, his goals, he needed that. He needed that. And I think, no disrespect to Trossard, even though I like him as a false nine, but Jesus, I think he's gonna cause terror. He's gonna run those centre backs ragged. Whether if it's Canate, Van Dijk, whoever, he's gonna, you know. So, but it's still a strong lineup.
Yeah,
Still strong.
You and G have made yours is slightly different to G's, where you've got one different player. G's got one different player in the lineup as well. So it's very small tinkerings. I'm going to call them of your squads. Yeah. There are a little bit more tinkering later, which will probably set G's blood pressure high, because I know G doesn't like too many changes. There is a big change later.
But you know what, Bobby? With this 11, though, if I was to see that 11 on Sunday, I wouldn't be unhappy with it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm the same. Because I think if you haven't noticed, I haven't chosen any lineups for a while because there's so many people that do them. I'm quite happy with quite a few, so I literally put my name on quite a few of them. But I let it down to you guys now. This is just I'm just a host. You guys do the teams, and we'll talk about it. This one is yours, Brenny. Oh, sorry, Jay. Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
What did you think of it, mate? I do apologise.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think Brenny sums it up perfectly. I mean, Ramsdale in the back four picks itself now, especially with no real update on Saliba. Doesn't look like he's going to play, although Arteta still might surprise us ahead of Sunday. But yeah, that picks itself. Our midfield, as Brenny said perfectly, is head and shoulders above Liverpool's. Has been all season. That is going to be a crucial area, as Brenny said. And I feel if we can dominate that, I feel we are going to dominate that. And I feel like that's going to have a massive bearing on who wins this game. And our three are superior to their three. Have been all season. In terms of the front three, it's not what I would have.
Yeah, yours is a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I echo everything Brenny said about if I saw that lineup.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't be annoyed, but it would bother me slightly. I just feel that the impact Gabriel Jesus has had on his club and his team, the way he, you know, I don't think many of us thought he would come back. And when he did come back, he'd be as impactful because of the type of injury he had. But he's worked his ass off. He's come back and he's been immense. He got a brace in the last game against Leeds. And I literally cannot envision Arteta dropping him. I just can't. This is a huge game. And these are the games. These are the games why we bought Jesus. You know, he's the number 9. He's the main man. He's come from City, where he was seen as kind of a bit part player. Although he did his thing a lot of the time in back end of the season with City, getting him over the line with league titles. This is why he's here for me. So having his character, you know, his tenacity, his trickery, you know, on the pitch for me is a must. Definitely. So that's the only change I would make. I think the rest of the team picks itself. You know, Trossard, Martinelli, there's debate, there's conversation. Saka, you know, walks into the side. But that's the only thing with me. I just think Jesus, for me, has to play.
Yeah. King, who actually is one of the people that chose this, the reason I went with Trossard is because he is more clinical than Jesus. And in big games, you don't normally get a lot of big chances. What I would say, King, is watch out for G's squad, because G managed to put Trossard and Jesus in. So, and I'll not say yours is bad, Brenny, by the way, because there's nothing wrong with your squad either. And we'll go into Brenny's now. But due to the fact, loads of people picked this. And I mean loads. Ozzy Gooner, Canners, Brenny did, James Wright did, Moss, Jack, and Mehmet. They all went for this squad. They all dropped Trossard and they picked Jesus up front. We'll quickly cover this because obviously there's little tinkerings. I want to save the big chat for the last two formations, which is going to give G issues. I can guarantee it. G, Obviously, this is not your squad. Yours is very, very slightly different. Quickly cover this one. You will definitely see this one, or at least your one. Yeah.
Literally, this lineup comes out at 3:30 on Sunday. Happy days. Like I say, back four, goalkeeper picks itself. Midfield is superior to Liverpool's, and it's not what I went with in terms of a front three. But who can complain when you see Saka, Gabby, and Jesus?
Yeah, exactly. Brenny, this is your team, mate. So you're quite happy with this one, aren't you?
Very, very much so. To be honest, I actually believe this would be the lineup because I mean, if it's not, it's probably what G said. There could be a surprise, and who knows, Saliba could return. But because I mean, like yourselves, I haven't heard anything on that. So yeah, I'll be very happy with that lineup.
There is chat. There is a lot of chat, and there is someone who we will be attending training tomorrow, and it's all depends on how he goes through it. I know who it is, and we'll have to wait and see. But if he does come through that training session tomorrow, he will be picked, and I guarantee all these squads are different. I guarantee every single squad. No offense, Tony, but I guarantee all these squads will be different by Sunday if he managed to get through that training session. But it has been optimistic this week about him. So I'm not going to say the name because it's not my news to break, unfortunately. But yes, tomorrow we'll wait and see. Right, this is G Talks, but also Ben, Miguel, Tim, and Arsenal Forever, who actually put it on the comments yesterday. And I did promise him I'd write it down and I'll make sure his name is on there because he put his team in on the comments on yesterday's preview, and I just thought that was brilliant. So I quickly type it up. So G, this is yours, and obviously you're going to have to explain why you've picking Trossard over Martinelli.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I don't need to explain the rest because it's been as it is in all the other lineups. So I'm picking the three up top. Saka obviously on the right. I'm actually putting Trossard on the left hand side, and I'm putting Jesus via the middle. But as we all know, these three players will interchange as and when they like. The reason why I'm picking Trossard is. It's nothing against Martinelli at all because Martinelli's having a great season. But I feel like Trossard is probably one of our better finishers. And for me, Jesus has to play. So a lot of it is to do with Jesus playing through the middle. But yeah, I don't want to drop Trossard. I saw Trossard. I think we all witnessed Trossard absolutely smash Liverpool to pieces at Anfield with the hat trick he got for Brighton. And I'm hoping, wishing and praying that he continues that rich vein of form. I think things like that matter. I really, really do. Particular players seem to score goals against particular teams, and they seem to have a habit of scoring against particular teams. And this guy's done 3 at Anfield. I mean, there's not many players that have scored a hat-trick at Anfield that don't play for Liverpool. So, you know what I mean? For me, it's big. I honestly believe the team that Brenny picked is probably the team that Arteta will pick. I think he will go back to his trusted 11. However, it's not the team I'd pick. And that's just my personal preference. I just think Trossard is just a tad bit more experienced. You know, he's been to Anfield. He's scored a hat-trick. He's just that little bit more clinical. And for me, I want Jesus in the team. So it's the thing where if I pick Trossard, I've got to kind of play him in the middle on the left, and then for me it just doesn't work. This is what works for me. So that's my reasonings for picking Trossard over Gabby. At the same time, look, Trossard has proven on many occasions that he can do it as a starter, but he can do it as an impact sub. So I'd have no issue him not starting and then coming on and doing the business if needs be. So yeah, it's neither here nor there in it. It's just opinions, but that would be my lineup, and those would be the reasons why.
Yeah, quickly, Brenny, because obviously this is not much different to yours. Any issues with Trossard starting over Martinelli?
You know what G said, 110% spot on. I mean, I would have no issues with that because you know what, it's not many players can go somewhere, get a hat trick, even a brace, and you'd never think, oh, a minute, I'll go back there again, you know, because it's very rare in the same season. It's very rare you get that, you know. So if he was to start, I wouldn't be surprised if he did hit the net, and Jesus probably would claim an assist. So it wouldn't surprise me, and he would still be buzzing from that experience. Even though unfortunately the Brighton didn't win the game that day, but he will be buzzing. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if he was to be selected ahead of Martinelli, for example. But you know what? Either way, it's a great headache for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, happy
It's
days.
a great headache. I mean, boy, it's like I just hope he's got his Nurofen or whatever it is he's taking Arteta, because he needs to drink something and then decide what he's going to take, and hopefully his head will be all right. It's a great headache. So yeah.
Well, this is what because what you said, G, is about you all chose your different lineups. That's why I do this. That's why I ask your opinions.
Yeah,
I know certain people try and match it to like say, "Oh, I'm going to guess Arteta's." Be a manager. Have your privilege to pick your 11. Don't matter who you pick. I will write them down. I'm not going to judge. No one else will judge. It's your 11. It's what you think, and I give you that like little bit of. You go with what you want, and we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it, and we'll see what's best. But the problem is, and it's a good problem to have, the 3 that we've picked so far, none of us have issues with it, and they're all different.
Yeah.
Now it might start getting into the G Talks get a little bit of meltdown. Not the formation hasn't changed yet, but the squad does in this next one. Big up to Nicholas and Albert that's done this. They've gone for a slightly more defensive system. They're still going with the same formation, so Jorginho will be in the Xhaka role. Zinchenko's out, bringing Tierney in because he's more defensive. And they're saying that they want to continuously be a back 4. Instead of doing this inverted stuff and splitting up and doing what they do, be a back 4. It will shut down Liverpool, they believe. This is what they believe. So this is what they've gone for. They've gone with Ramsdale, White, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Jorginho, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. We're not going to have any issues with the front 3. I can hear that from G. Midfield, you have issues with Jorginho, I'm guessing.
I mean, I see the logic in starting. I'll start at the back. I see the logic in starting KT. He's playing left back, which means he's going up against Mo Salah. It makes sense to have maybe somebody who is a little bit more defensive minded. We saw it work in the home game when we played Tommy on the left hand side. He absolutely pocketed him. So I get that. I completely understand that rationale. It makes sense to me. I do think it will somewhat impact the way we play, what Zini does for the team. But I don't think there's a problem going to Anfield and not necessarily being respectful, but being clever, being smart. And just kind of, watching your opponent, working them out, keeping it tight. There's not a problem with that, because the last thing you want to do is go to Anfield and concede in the first 5-10 minutes. That's the worst thing you want to do. So I completely get the defensive, bringing in KT. He's a quality player. He plays different, isn't he? But he's a quality player. Jorginho, I mean, if Arteta were to pick Jorginho in that kind of number 8 role, I would be surprised. However, for me, he has the ability to play there. I didn't think that Xhaka would play the way he has or perform the way he has in that position this season. And I don't think there's a huge gulf in quality between the two players. I think, if anything, Jorginho, there's an argument he's more technically gifted or has more technical ability than Xhaka. So it might surprise you, but I don't have a huge issue with it. I can't personally see it because Xhaka in that number 8 role in the left, midfield, position has been ever present all season. He's been doing his thing, he's literally changed the hearts and minds of Arsenal fans, including me. So I can't see it, but believe it or not, I don't really have a massive issue with this side.
I think he's preparing himself for the next 2 formations. That might be why. Brenny, do you have much of an issue with Jorginho and Tierney coming in for Xhaka and Sin? for you, Brenny? Do you have much of an issue with it?
No, not really. But I mean, looking at that 11, that's probably an 11 that I would pick if the league table positions were reversed. I mean, reversed. If it was Liverpool at the top or in the top three, and you know what I'm saying, and we were 6th or 7th, and we were fighting for, you know, a Europa League spot, then that's a side that I would go with. You know, but I just feel we don't really need to be defensive. I mean, yeah, we must be responsible in midfield and at the back, of course. But looking at that, I'm thinking the way we're playing with such confidence now, it's got a point where if we were to go with that side, then psychologically Liverpool will be thinking, I know we haven't been at our best at, you know, we haven't been performing well recently, but that would give them the confidence.
Yeah.
I want us to go with the strongest side possible, and basically I want us to look them Liverpool players in the eye, you know, before we get out onto that pitch and say, you know what, this is our time now.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the side you pick if you're trying to get a point.
Fair enough. Right. We're going to go to Luke's first. So I'm going to skip one. So it's going to go flash, right? Right. So Luke has gone for a 3-5-2 with the wing backs. So he's gone for Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Tierney as a left centre back, Saka on the right wing back, Zinchenko on the left wing back, and you got Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, and you got Martinelli and Jesus. Now, he didn't tell me exactly how they'd line up together up the top, so I've just put them up the top. But I'm guessing Martinelli will be slightly different to Jesus, or maybe they'll both be different. I don't know. But Brenny, I'm going to start with you because I'm going to let G just kind of compose himself because I know how he gets upset over some of these squads. But this is Luke. This is our own Luke. This is our part of our Armoury family that's gone for this, and I do kind of get it. Brenny, what do you think about changing it up like that?
This is what we did in 1989. We played with a sweeper system. We played this formation.
Yeah,
we played this formation. But I mean, yeah, back then that worked though, you know. And then obviously, and then George Graham switched it, didn't he? He switched it to a 4-4-2 when he took off Steve Bold, didn't he? And when they took off Steve Bold, took off Paul Merson, brought on Martin Hayes, and I think it was Perry Groves. So yeah, it's it could work. It could work. I mean, but my only thing is Kyle Saka as a wing back on the right hand side does concern me a bit. But you know what? He's been phenomenal this season, so it wouldn't surprise me. He probably could do a job there. You know. But yeah, it's I personally wouldn't go with that.
Yeah.
I think you could go with that, depending on who you know what, that's probably the type probably the type of formation I would go with in the Champions League if we're going to the Bernabeu next season or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
And keep it tight and try and hit them on the break, you know what I mean? But no, I wouldn't go with that formation on Sunday, but there is nothing wrong with us playing that formation because I feel we can play with that formation.
Yeah, I do as well.
You know.
Oh, gee, how are you doing now? You nice and calm?
Yeah. This one, I mean, what the first thing I thought when I saw it was, for me, it screams out fear. I think it screams out, and I know I said about going there and being somewhat respectful or smart in the opening stages of the game, but yeah, I think this just says we're gonna come here and the goal is to not lose, and we're quite fearful of their attacking threat, but my mindset is I genuinely believe if Liverpool get 2, we can get 3. I think if they score 4, I think we could score 5 because defensively they're an absolute shambles.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I've got to be honest. Nothing personal, Luke. But I really don't like it at all. We've played our 4-3-3 formation all season. It's got us into the position we're in the league, which is 8 points clear, scoring for fun, not bad defensively. And I think Tony kind of summed it up perfectly when he's put in the comments. We just don't experiment at this stage in this magnitude of a game. I think it's very dangerous. Look, if Arteta does this and pulls it off, he'll be hailed as an absolute genius. But if it goes wrong, bro, if I was him, I'd just deactivate Twitter right after the final whistle. But yeah, it's one of those ones. And but what Brenny said there was phenomenal in that we clearly have the players to play this formation, because I can actually see this working. It makes sense. It does make sense. Like when I first looked at it, oh my God, it gave me like heart palpitations. But when you look at it, I mean, we can play like this. We have the ability to mix it up, to change things up. And I think, as our process develops and we play different teams in different competitions, I think we're going to have to be a bit more adaptable in terms of the way we play teams. And yeah, a big, Champions League night away from home, why not go kind of 5 at the back with wing backs? It makes a lot of sense. It's not changing it too much. I mean, Zinni's still playing and doing his thing on the wing. Saka is still on the wing there. You've got a solid, 3 kind of centre backs. The midfield is what it is. And, with Jesus and Martinelli, they're going to cause any defense problem. So I don't hate it. I don't. I'm trying to be nice tonight. I don't hate it, but yeah, for me, just don't fix what isn't broken for me. And this isn't for me a game where we ought to be experimenting. I'm a creature of habit. If you haven't figured it out already, Bobby and Brad, I'm a creature of habit. I like routine. I like things the way they are. So hopefully we don't see this on Sunday. Sorry, Luke.
Right. I'm going to switch a 3-5-2 and I'm going to offer you a 3-4-3.
Okay.
So Carlos and Jonas, I always ask someone to come think outside the box. And this is what they've come up with. And I actually love this personally. I would happy because if Liverpool change it for this weekend, which it wouldn't shock me if Klopp went for a 3-4-3 just to switch it up, because something's not working at Liverpool. He's going to have to change something at some point. And they can play a 3-4-3 very well. So they've gone with, well, what if he does this? Let's match him. So they've gone for Ramsdale, Holding, Gabriel, Tierney, White, Zinchenko, Partey, Jorginho, Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So they've obviously dropped Odegaard. And the reason they've dropped Odegaard is because Jorginho is better defensively, but he's also got the ability to pick out a beautiful pass that can set up one of the 3 attacking players. I'm going to start with you again, Brenny, because G might be, his brain might be going, what do you think of this one? I think this is only if Klopp went for a 3-4-3, this would be a matching 3-4-3 against them. So it like cancels them out. Would you be happy with this one?
No, I don't know. I think, wow,
it's very different.
It is different. It is different. It's not something that I would be comfortable with because, you've got the 2 in midfield, but you'd still want that. You still want someone in front of them to support the front 3. For me personally, it's. I don't know about that. I'd be very concerned if we were to play that way on Sunday. To be honest, that's all I can say on the matter.
Fair enough.
I just.
No, it's upset Brady more than it's upset G by looks of it. G,
wow.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, like, even though it's like a 3-4-3, I mean, you could see it potentially interchange and transition into a 4-3-3, because you could get like Zinni kind of coming in. You can see Partey drop in, and you can see Zinchenko kind of inverting into that midfield, and all of a sudden you've got a back four of KT, Gabriel, Holding, and Ben White. I think Luke made a really good point in terms of like he was explaining the last formation with not playing a high line with Holding, which I completely get. So once he kind of gave that context, I kind of understood his formation a bit more. But with this one, again, it's very different to what we're doing, very different to what we used to and what's worked. But you know what I mean? I wouldn't put it past Arteta to change things and switch things up. And we've seen it in the past. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. So I would honestly, in a way, he's a little bit like Pep is in that sense. Sometimes, you know, you see Pep, he'll do, you know, he'll stick to something all season, and then in one of the biggest games of the season, he'll just switch it all up, and you're like, why'd you do that? The problem with that is, like I said, if it goes well, it's genius. If it doesn't, it's like, what were you thinking? You know, it's literally that chalk and cheese reaction to it. So I wouldn't put it past Mikel Arteta switching it up, but at the same time, as Brenny's, you know, opinion and expressions suggested, it would be a surprise. It would be a shock, and yeah, I personally can't see it. I mean, we've got the. I mean, if we mirrored what Liverpool were doing in terms of like how they were going to set up, then maybe it makes sense. But I just see our three absolutely running rings around their three in midfield, and I don't think I can actually envision a team in the Premier League, an Arsenal lineup without Odegaard. He's arguably. You know, player of the season. You know, there are lots of players that have performed brilliantly well this season, but I mean, Odegaard is right up there. You know, we're having conversations about being, you know, the best attacking midfielder in the country, if not in world football. So I can't envision dropping him and the impact he has and the way he dictates the play and pulls it all together and pulling the strings and his assists and stuff like that. I just can't see that happening in such a game of this magnitude. So again, I don't personally like it. I can't see it, but boy, it's Anfield with 9 games to go. Who knows what Arteta's got in store for us?
Exactly. Big up to everyone that's done the lineup. So I really appreciate everyone's effort. Obviously, I have to type them up, but it's all you guys that think about it. So big up to everyone that's done it. It is. It gives us good talking points.
It's talking points, and it challenges us a little bit as well. It makes us, it's not comfortable sometimes, but
it's not.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
At the end of the day, in the Champions League next season, we are going to have to change it up. It's as simple as that. I think, to be honest, the way that we've played in Europa has kind of said that we can't play that kind of style of football in Europe. So we're going to have to start considering something different in 100%. Europe. Yeah. So, you know, this is why I've started Arsenal just to think outside the box a little bit, just because we do need to get ready for this, because it's going to have to happen next season. It's going no offense to those who do, but obviously we're going to get ready for the challenge, which Brenny and G will be taking part in. And because I'm going to go with Brenny's going to have 3 because he's my pod brother, so he's going to have 3 choices today. G's going to have 2.
Well, you know,
it's a lot. But we'll get into that. I was going to quickly go through some of these comments. It's great to have options, says Gunnar King. It definitely is. Has had his worst game against Salah in an Arsenal shirt. It's harsh because we've not been great at Anfield before, but I would stick to Zinni. Look, we've got a great squad, and that we haven't seen that for a very long time. Luke is a Holding hater. I don't think anyone really hates Holding, to be honest. I definitely don't. He's my Andy Linnigan, so I've never hated Andy Linnigan. Brenny, did you ever hate Andy Linnigan?
Oh, Andy Linnigan. No, I wasn't his biggest fan, but he was different to Adams O'Leary, David O'Leary, that is, and Steve Bold. He was a different kind of defender. He'd bully you off the ball. He wasn't one of those that would just, you know, you wouldn't get the perfect tackle from him. You know, he was just one of those defenders, and he kept Steve Bold out of the side. When Steve Bold came back from injury, it was in our cup season, wasn't it, 30 years ago, the 2 cup finals against Sheffield Wednesday, and he was integral to both those games. But yeah, Andy Linnigan's not the worst defender in Arsenal history. Not the worst. No way.
No,
you know.
Exactly. So if I'm calling holding Andy Linnigan, which he is to me, it doesn't mean I hate him, because honestly, Andy Linnigan did us a job, and he definitely gave us some moments we will never forget in Arsenal history. So it's definitely Moss is asking a question here. Does Thiago or Armoury make a difference, and one start Sunday? I honestly don't care about Armoury. I don't think he's even that anymore. Thiago, again, I don't really care. You know what? Their midfield doesn't scare me, whoever plays, because they've all been awful.
We've got superior athleticism over them. Our midfield's got more legs. It's got more technical ability.
Definitely, I mean, 100%.
He's a brilliant player. He's, do you know what I mean? He's a great passer of the ball. But I mean, when was the last time he played? I really can't see them putting him out there and taking a risk on him. And I don't think Arthur Melo's even made his debut yet, has he?
I have, mate. I
don't know. I don't think he has, but
I think he's been injured the whole time.
One, I don't care. Two, honestly, I don't rate the kid. He was all right at Barcelona. Went to Juventus, did nothing.
And three, you forgot three. Three. Liverpool's midfield has an average age of 37.5. So yeah, you forgot that as well.
Honestly, I just their midfield, is just a joke. Shane's asking here, should we be worried about poor Tierney? Honestly, don't give them anything to make a mess on. I've said this all season. No Arsenal player should give them a reason to make an error. So don't do any stupid tackles. No. Don't do anything stupid with your arms or hands. Hands always by your side, behind your back. Don't give them a reason to make an error. Then they won't. Simple as that.
Definitely.
So do you both agree? Just don't give them a reason to make it.
Yeah, we've got to take the ref out of the equation. And I know 100%. Obviously it's difficult, but what I mean by that is we just got to play our ball and win the game convincingly. And there will be moments when we could put, hairy situations where we just got to keep our heads. And that's one thing I think we've done a lot better this season than we've done in previous seasons. In big moments, high pressure moments, we're not losing our heads. We're not getting those red cards or making those silly challenges. So it's just about doing more of the same of what we've been doing all season.
Yeah, 100%. Moss, I know what you're trying to do with the challenge there, mate. You played yesterday. You failed yesterday. You only get one chance at the challenge. That's the whole point. Challenge. Begin. Ends. Done. You do not get a second chance today. However, who does get a chance today is Brenny and G. Let's just find the intro, which I can't find. There we go. And we'll start. Okay, so Brenny and G have played this enough now. They know exactly what to do. Brenny's going to have 3 choices. G's going to have 2 for the Liverpool part of it. And then you both got to agree on Arsenal players. Now, before I let you know, Tony and Jamie have both got squads. They are in the next slide. So you are up against their squads. And I will be perfectly honest, I'm struggling with those 2 because they're so good. There's only one person that's slightly picked it for me and those 2 because he's gone for my favourite Arsenal player. So it's going to be tough for you guys today. I have to be honest. And as you always know, it is the home formation, but thankfully Liverpool have the same formation as us, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Brenny, I'm going to let you go with the first Liverpool player, my boy. My boy? I don't know what's going on
there. Okay. Go with Alisson in goal.
Okay. G.
Oh man! Oh god, it's hard to even think that I'm in a position where I don't want to pick any Liverpool players. That's crazy, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's a really hard one, this one, because I'm going to pick what I consider to be Liverpool's best player, but inevitably that probably excludes one of ours. So unfortunately, I'm going to go with Mo Salah.
Okay. Now, before I let you make your final decision on that, Jamie did find a way last night of getting Salah and Saka in the same squad. So I don't want you having that quandary, because Salah can play.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, you can put him as a striker if you want. It's totally your choice, but I'm just saying you have the option.
Like he had him as a false 9.
Yeah.
So before you can change, if you want to have Salah, you can have him as a striker if you want. That's absolutely fine. I'll accept that because he can play there. So
yeah, for me, I'm gonna pick Salah. I think 33 goal contributions in a poor season. I don't understand. I've got to put bias aside. I've got to pick him. Like he's an exceptional player, so I'm going to have him as a false 9.
Okay, cool. I just want you to, because obviously a lot of people have been struggling about that. At the end of the day, Salah can play as a false 9, so it's fine. I'll accept it. Brenny, your second choice, please, mate.
Okay, go with I would say go with Trent Alexander-Arnold because of his dead ball situations.
Okay. G?
Boy, dearie. I'm gonna have to go with. Oh God, I really don't want to pick any of the defenders. Like seriously, I don't. Trent would have been the player I would have picked out of the back 4.
Okay.
I think the others are having. Well, Van Dijk is just not Van Dijk anymore. He would have been one of the first names on the team sheet for me, but not anymore. Probably an unpopular one, and I know he's not fit at the moment, but I'm going to go with Diaz on the left.
Yeah, that's fine. As you know, you can pick people that are injured or suspended.
Have you noticed how me and Brenny are avoiding midfield?
So true, man. So true.
Avoiding midfield.
Brenny, final Liverpool player, please, mate.
Oh my goodness me. Yeah, it's so true, you know. I'll leave that midfield alone, man. I'll go with Joel Matip.
Joel Matip, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to pick the Arsenal. So I'm going to go with, we're guessing we're going with Saka for right wing, yeah?
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Am I going to guess this is Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard midfield?
Yes.
Oh, most definitely.
Okay. just to save a little bit of time. There we go.
I was avoiding.
So there's the midfield. Right. The last centre back, who are you both going to agree to put there? Is it Saliba or Gabriel?
For me, I prefer to stick to the left centre back and go with Gabriel. Personally.
Okay. Brenny?
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that, G. Seriously. Yeah, man.
Okay. Left back, Zinny or Tierney?
For me, Zinny.
Zinny.
Okay. Right. Now, I've got a very good poker face because I know you've already lost this. Because you have gone for the one player that I cannot stand. I'll tell you in a minute. You got Alisson in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. You got Matip, Gabriel, Zinchenko. You got a very good midfield, Partey, Odegaard, Xhaka, and you got Saka, Diaz, and Salah. Now, the one I didn't want anyone picking is Trent Alexander-Arnold due to the fact
I thought so.
I am a right back and he cannot defend.
Yeah,
it's just pointless. I had a good chat with Jamie about it yesterday, and he was thinking maybe right winger because he's a Liverpool fan, and he was saying he just cannot defend. And I totally agree. And once you put him in the squad, that's why Moss lost last night because he put Trent Alexander-Arnold in the team. I'm like, no, that's a no. But I will show you what Tony and hang on, let's go. Jamie did yesterday. This was their lineups. Now I have to put it full screen because I can't actually read that. So they both went for Alisson. They both went for Ben White. Tony went for Saliba. Jamie went for Gabriel. They both went for Van Dijk, which I could kind of accept because I think with the pace of Gabriel or Saliba, it covers Van Dijk issues. So that kind of works again. Robertson, left back, brilliant choice. I have no issues with Robertson. Maybe it's my Scottish heritage. Maybe. I don't know. I might be a bit biased on that. Midfield, again, I like this. Thiago, Partey, Odegaard.
Yeah, good
they
team.
got away with that.
Good teams.
And then, obviously, it was the up front. Now, if anyone knows me well enough, they know who's won out of these two because of the front three. Because my favourite left winger and the one that I don't mind, but Martinelli. If you pick Martinelli, you've won because he's my dirty left winger. He's just dirty. I love him. Yeah. So Tony, you do win this challenge, but Jamie, very good effort.
Good
you guys just can't believe you picked Trent Hazard.
Well done.
There you go. Boss
I genuinely couldn't pick Van Dijk, man, this season. I just couldn't.
No.
Yeah. And Boss is accusing Tony of kissing my butt. No, honestly, I think Tony's done that. He wants to play because obviously he can't stream as much as he would like. So he likes to take part in the challenge as well. So he does it behind the scenes and sends it to me privately. And I love it. I love the fact that he likes actually doing this. But yeah, brilliant job, guys. Really appreciate it. Now, you know what it is. It's prediction time. Now, with the big sigh coming from G, I'm going to start with Brenny. Brenny, what's your prediction for tomorrow, for Sunday?
Do you know what? We're full of goals, right? Home and away, and we do concede as well. I think we conceded more goals at home than we have away. So I cannot see us keeping a clean sheet. I'm going to go with 3-1.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 3-1.
Absolutely fine. G?
Yeah, I'm confident we can get the win. And as Brenny said, I think we will concede, but I think we will score more than Liverpool. So I'm going for the famous 4-2. I think it was the last time we beat them at Anfield.
I'll be honest, the amount of goals that people have gone for is mad. Moss went for 3-1. Luke went for 4-2. Jamie, the Liverpool fan, yesterday went for 3-2 to the Arsenal. I've gone for a 4-3 because I'm expecting high blood pressure and issues on Sunday when I do the watch along. BX Gunner went for 4-2. King went for 3-1. Brenny has gone for 3-1. GTalks 4-2. Honestly, Moss has now changed it to 2-1. Moss, I don't know how many times you want to have predictions, but I'm going to write down every single one. Every time, you probably don't even realise I'm actually noticing what you put, but I've written now 2-1. Shane Curtin, has he seriously gone 7-0 Arsenal? 3-2 in favour of Arsenal.
If Arsenal win 7-0, I'm so glad I don't have work on Monday.
It's good job it's Easter weekend, isn't it?
Listen, mate. That's a bottle of Captain Morgan gone.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, I am writing that down because if you do get that 7-0, I'm bigging you up big time on the stream. So, Tony's gone for a 5-0 once again. Luke's gone for his formation would easily win 3-0, but he's going with a 4-2. Oh, what a great show, though, once again. Brenny, really appreciate you coming on, mate. Where can people find you, my friend?
Yes, well, I can be found on as BrennyK74 on Twitter. I'll be doing quite a few things on Twitter over the next couple of days leading up to the Liverpool game. I've already started with some history videos of our performances at Anfield in the past, from going back to the 80s. And not in recent years, of course, because that's too painful for us fellow Arsenal fans to look at them again. But yeah, so just look out for that as well. I'll also probably be putting a few of those on Instagram as well. And also, if you all don't know, my brother is Damos, and he did something amazing, which I'm going to be putting on Twitter as well, in probably not tonight, then tomorrow as well. And give that a look, and you will all love it. And And also, you can find me on this wonderful channel, which I love so much. And I love you all. Big up to all of you.
Tony, whatever it is that Damos is done, we'll share it on the Armoury Twitter as well, so we can share it with the family as well.
Yeah, it's amazing.
G, where can people find you, my friend?
Yeah, man. Before I get into that, if you haven't liked the stream, Bobby does these previews. Brenny's always on here. They do an amazing job. I love nothing more than jumping on and joining them. So if you haven't liked the stream, please do like the stream. If for whatever strange reason you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribing, do tell another gooner, whether that's in your family, a friend, or a work colleague, whoever it is, just tell them, because we're on our road to 1K. But yeah, you can find me obviously on here, the Armoury TV, with my Armoury family, my Armoury brothers, or you can just hit me up on Twitter. GTalksArsenal is the handle.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. And G has done some amazing stuff for the next previews. That we've had a little private chat behind the scenes in our little WhatsApp groups. We want to start bringing the Arsenal community together a little bit, so we're going to do that on the next previews. Next weekend, I will still be next week. I still will be doing a West Ham preview. For people that know me, it's going to be a very gentle towards West Ham because I cannot banter them at all. I want to hear their opinions.
Hey, I'm with you on that. I'm the same, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I told you all my old man's a West Ham fan, so yeah.
Yeah, my granddad used to live outside Upton Park, so there's many memories of me going up to his flat, looking over at Upton Park. I'm obviously named Bobby. You can tell who I'm named after.
Yeah,
it's something I can't banter West Ham. I want to beat them, but it's a 1-0 win. Literally, get the goal, get off the pitch, see you later. Right, let's not talk about it, kind of thing. But we'll do that preview next Thursday. But what I've got coming over the weekend, we've got the score coming tomorrow at 3:00, and it's just Premier League games tomorrow. There's 7 of them, I believe. And also the SPL, we'll be updating you on that. And then Sunday, I've got to do the watch along. It's going to FTSN, it's going to the Armoury, it's going to Across the Pond Sports Talk, but it's also going to Cop Talk TV, who is one of our sister channels. So it is going to be, it's going to be painful because I hated the West Ham game on Wednesday, and that wasn't even my actual true love. I hated watching that. And so if it goes badly, but yeah, really appreciate everybody. And I will definitely see you very, very soon. And as always, before I finish, it's always, come on, you Gunners, but it's also this now. So take care, everyone. Speak to you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.